Hi, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Shayna. Thank you for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe. Today is going to be a good episode. We're going to talk a little bit about sales. So, sales as a service provider, as a coach, as a consultant. We want to talk about sales today and some misconceptions that we may have regarding sales, and this may be holding you back. So, this episode is for you if you're saying, I'm actually generating money, I'm a service provider, I may be at a place where I'm exchanging time for money. And I'm thinking about, you may even be experiencing burnout or maybe feel like you're reaching burnout because you're at a place of trying to scale and or pivot your service. And so we want to talk a little bit about that this afternoon or this morning, wherever you're joining from. And let's get started. Okay. So when we think about just sales and selling as a service provider, most of the time you are exchanging your time or your value that you are imparting or departing it for your service within your clients for money. Sometimes you're charging by the hour. Sometimes there's a pre-arrangement pay. Some depending on what industry you're working in, your payment arrangement and your business model can shift and can vary. However, you are selling a service, you're selling an experience. So you're selling a tangible outcome to your ideal client and or customer. And so sometimes when I work with my clients, they run into a place where they believe like the price is all about the price. And that is not true. So if you are stuck in a place of saying, okay, I can't charge high value, or my sales are inconsistent, or I'm running to a wall where I have the clients, but I'm running into a wall where I'm actually don't have the quality of life, meaning my health is not doing well. I'm not able to be visible or present with my family, my children. I believe even in that, you're still losing, right? Because even if you have the money and the resources and tangibility, but you are literally running on E or burnout, your cup is almost empty, then price has to shift, right? Your business model has to shift. And so, although high ticket sales are not just solely, however, it's just not solely based on money. It is based on the transformation you are offering. It's based on the actual outcomes. It's based on how can you actually sell this experience or this promise that you have promised your client in a way that you could actually add or charge high ticket for that. And so people pay for proximity. They also pay for an experience. They want to know if they invest $10, you have to let them know that that investment is just not the $10 investment, but what is going to be the return on their investment. And so when you're selling, you want to sell value proposition. And of course, the value and the worth is in the eyes of the beholder, but you do want to leverage and position yourself as a service provider, as a coach, as a consultant, as a therapist, a beautician, a barber, whatever service you're providing. You want to make sure that your service is worth paying for. And so you want to leverage it and position it and sell the outcome, the promise, so that your customer and client know what they're getting from you. Okay. Another thing is, it's a myth that only certain industries can sell high ticket. I hear a lot of my clients, they're like, oh well, when I think about selling high ticket, or I think about increasing my prices, that's only for coaches or it's only for consultants. And I believe that anyone that's providing a service, if you were really to step back and look at what you are providing to your clients, they're they actually would pay to have a deeper connection or exchange with you. And the reason why I would say this is because a lot of people like to pay for an experience and convenience. I am that customer, I'm that consumer. If you have something that you can offer me that's luxury, that's going to allow me to have privacy, that's going to allow me to just have time for myself, that's going to increase my health, that's going to increase the time that I can spend with my family, my children, that's going to take away the load or efforts of me, I'll pay for that. Right. So when you think about your niche, when you think about your clientele, when you think about your service, what you're selling, you want to correctly position that. And if you're struggling with that, and if this is something that you feel like you have inconsistent sales, you're reaching burnout, you are, marketing, you're showing up, you're consistent. And even some clients where they're like, hey, I'm actually curious. I've only been doing, I only know what I know. So you don't know what you don't know. Go ahead and feel free to connect with me. You can shoot me an inbox, or you can check the links down below so that you can book a call. You can even just book a complimentary 15-minute consultation just to see, where I can support you and help you shift. Okay. Another thing is, high ticket sales are not easy, but low ticket sales are not either. I don't know if I always share my story. When I first started my business, I was literally selling t-shirts for $20. And at the end of the month, when I would do like the inventory and I would just, do my profit and loss analysis, and I saw how much I was paying for my merchandise, but then the profit that I was making from my sales, that was not enough to cover mortgage, insurance, feed my child. And my child, she likes crab legs, seafood, and all of the sushi and things. So it just wasn't adding up. So I had to decide to make a pivot. Now, it's not to say that my business model does not, have leverage or tiers of services. However, there's a higher demand on my high ticket service because that's actually the transformation for my ideal client. So that's what I position, that's what I sell, that's what I market. Now, when you come into my ecosystem and you begin to know me and you begin to say, okay, this is how I've been able to make a transformation in your business, and you are a good fit and you're ready for that change or other services, I have those to offer you as well. So it's not saying that you have to wipe out your entire business model or wipe out your entire, service or your offerings or the things that you're leveraging. It says, hey, how can we look at what you're doing? Can we look at the data to see where are your profits coming from? What are the services that your client that you really, really, really like to work with, the one that brings you joy, that you give them a direction, they follow through. You do their hair and you tell them how to wrap it up at night, they actually follow you. So when they're taking their pictures, good morning, when they're taking their pictures, they're able to actually represent your service well, right? That ideal client, they exist for you, and they are what actually will pay you a higher ticket price if you present it to them. Sometimes as service providers, you have not even presented the offer, you haven't even like dipped your foot in there. And to be honest, I help my clients position their purpose so that they're actually able to do something that brings them closer to their client to create a deeper level of transformation. They're able to actually provide them with skills and tools and experiences that it kind of lives on, right? This is a person that continues to come back for that, because it's not superficial, right? And so you want to be able to leverage your business model and your relationship, because I believe offering high ticket or selling high ticket is a relationship opportunity. It's about relationship. It's about being able to connect with your clients in a deeper way. So you don't need a large audience, right? You do not need a large following. You do not need all of the vanity metrics and engagement to be successful in offering high ticket sales or selling high ticket. But you do have to believe in relationship. You do have to have patience. You do have to have internal emotional self regulation. You do have to have strong boundaries within your business. You do. And so this is something that I enjoy working with my clients, and I enjoy being able to connect with them on a deeper level, because it's not just beneficial for you financially when it comes to profits and revenue, but it's also beneficial for the client as well. So it's a mutual relationship, it's reciprocal, and you're able to see it work both ways. And so, once again, I hope that this was helpful for someone. If you have any questions about anything that I've shared so far, feel free to drop them below. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I look forward to connecting with you again soon. Thank you and have a great day. Bye.